Hello everyone! Today I will be showing you how to make homemade earrings. This is the design I will be demonstrating. I've already made the first one and I will take you guys along as I finish the second one. I've been making jewelry since I was 9 years old and I've made hundreds of earrings just like this, so I'm really excited to share jewelry making and my passion with you guys, so I hope you enjoy this video. The first step is making sure that you have all the tools that you need. For this specific earring, all that I need are my beads, my head pins, and my pliers. So I just have chosen some crystal beads, I'll show you again. And then there are some seed beads in there as well. Chloe's making an appearance, that's my cat. There are these little pins. You can get them at pretty much any crafting store, jewelry store. They're just little needles with flat heads, and that's what the bead sits on. And then I have 3 different types of pliers. Really only need 2, and I'll explain in a second. These are my needle nose pliers, these are my gripping pliers, and these are my cutting pliers. And what I was talking about earlier is these gripping pliers actually have cutters in them, if you can see that. So if you have grip pliers that already have the cutters, you don't need these, but I find them helpful, so I bring them along. Right, the second step is going to, for this, I just selected one bead. It's kind of a teardrop diamond shape. I like to have these at the bottom. It just gives a more snatched look at the bottom. It's the style I typically go for, but sometimes I'll do other styles as well. So you string it onto the pin. And then what you're going to do is you'll take your pliers, and as close to the bead as you can, you're going to bend it over, perpendicular, so 90-degree angle to the best of your ability. Just like this. And then you're going to cut it to the correct size. Now, you're just going to leave enough room that you can make a little loop. So for that, it's not even going to be an inch. I usually just eyeball it. Once I have that cut, I take my needle nose pliers and I grab the very tip like this, and I'm going to curl around. Let's see if you can see this. I'm going to do a little twirl with my wrist and going to make that loop. Just grip like here. Do that spin. Adjust it as needed. And there we have our first loop. So now this bottom layer is done. The second step is going to be your other layers. For this, I did 2 identical layers. They're just a crystal bead sandwiched in between. You actually need a loop. So instead of using a head pin with the flat end, I can either cut the end off or I can make a loop from this extra piece that I had. Some of these pins you can buy with the loops already on them, and it can save some time, but I don't mind using these head pins. They're generic, very nice for everything. The process of making this loop is about the same as when I made the loop on the bead. Bend the metal to a 90-degree angle, and then do that rotation with your needle nose pliers to make that loop. Next, you're going to string your beads. Again, I did a seed bead, then a crystal bead, and then another seed bead. Easy enough. That same looping process, the needle with the pliers, bend it to a 90-degree angle, cut it to my correct size, and then I make the loop. I don't know if you can see that, but it has got a loop on each side now. And since This earring has two. I'm just going to repeat that step one more time, do exactly the same thing. Gonna bend this to a 90-degree angle. Create my loop. And this one's got the pin side, so I've actually got to cut that off. String my beads. And then do that looping process one more time. And then there. That's second mid-tier is done. Now that I've got all three of my layers, my next step is just going to be connecting them all. What I'm going to do is simply going to find where I made that loop, grab it with my pliers, and open it up. See, I've opened that loop. I apologize, it's a little hard to see. And then I'm going to take the loop of one of my other layers, and I'm going to string it on, just like that. Going to take that flathead plier and close it up. And then I'm going to do the same thing, starting with this loop on the top here, open it up, connect it to this other piece, close it, and now I have all three layers. Finally, I just need to add the hooks. I like to use these finishings, but they make them in all sorts of different shapes. As you can see, it has one of these loops. You just grab the loop, open it up, string this other loop through, and voila. You have your finished earring. Now you don't want to forget is to add one of these back pieces to your earrings. These just ensure that your earrings don't fall out of your ears. And that's the finished product. Really, you can do as many layers as you want. It's very repetitive, a lot of looping. Some people may find it tedious. I enjoy it. But that's really all there is to it. Now you have a beautiful pair of brand new earrings. Thank you for watching along.